You're listening to Dissecting High Performance in Tennis, the podcast that takes you inside the minds of the world's top coaches and tennis experts, bringing you actionable insights to elevate your coaching and impact. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, Adam here. I'm excited to share that I'll be speaking at the 5th edition of the World Tennis Conference, organized by the Sigal Institute and supported by the GPTCA. This is my 3rd year as a speaker, and each time I've been just as thrilled to learn from the best as I have to share insights on tennis coaching. The World Tennis Conference brings together world-class coaches and experts, making it a must-attend event for anyone serious about high-performance tennis coaching. Head over to worldtennisconference.org and use the coupon ADAM at checkout to get 10% off either the conference or the conference plus the club membership. Now, let's dive into today's episode.
Chapter 2. Comprehending the person behind the player. As tennis coaches, our role extends far beyond the boundaries of the court. We're not just coaching tennis, we're coaching individuals who happen to play tennis. This chapter uncovers the layers beneath the surface, emphasizing the importance of comprehending the person behind the player. From exploring backgrounds to using personality tests and addressing sensitive topics, we delve into the nuances that shape effective communication. Additionally, we examine whether distinctions in coaching different genders are necessary or merely stereotypes to be challenged. Revealing hidden layers, understanding background and cultural influences. Like peeling an onion, each layer brings you closer to the core. Why is it important to get to know the person behind the player? Antonio von Gretchen. The main goal is to spend so much time with your player that it almost becomes common sense what to say and when to say it. Players have a lot of obvious traits when you look at them at first, but they also have some hidden traits that you don't see immediately. It's your job to try to enable those traits that you don't see right away and thereby maximize their potential. You have to consider the parents as well and their family structure. Do they have a healthy situation at home, for instance? Christian Groh adds, getting to know the player's background helps you understand why they react in a certain way at a certain time. Everybody has their own story. To gain a deeper understanding of the family dynamic, consider these questions about the players you work with. What cultural roots shape their upbringing? Do the parents share a household or live apart? What kind of experience do the parents have with sports and to what extent? What's the parental employment status? Any siblings in the mix? If you seek a more analytical approach to unraveling the individual beyond the athlete, Frank Giampolo shares his experience using personality assessments. The puzzle of personality, customizing your coaching approach. Like solving a puzzle, every piece reveals part of the bigger picture. While it's encouraged that you personally delve into understanding the person yourself, you might want to consider mirroring Frank Giampolo's approach, speeding up the process. Here is Frank. I've used Myers-Briggs personality assessment for years, and I've had tons of players fill out questionnaires. Today, I believe that I can determine a player's personality profile within the first half hour of meeting them. For me, it's been really helpful in identifying the unique brain designs of the players that we work with. Is there a genetic predisposition and how they're wired? It helps us understand how the players tick and why they do what they do. I now see that my son sees the world differently than I do, and that he solves problems differently to me. Previously, I was trying to make him more like me and understand how he should do things but all from my perspective. So how does Myers-Briggs personality assessment work? Well, the Myers-Briggs categorizes people into 16 different personalities. Everybody will get a 4-letter acronym that best describes their personality profile. This will help you understand your player's personality profile to maximize their potential by customizing their developmental plans to fit who they are. If we know more about the player's personality profile, we can customize the practice and get right to the heart of the matter quicker. While there are many other good assessment tools, here's how specifically you can use each of the 4 letters in the acronym that a Myers-Briggs personality assessment provides you with to better comprehend the person in front of you. We will often not be exclusively one of the two, but we will be on a spectrum where we are mostly on one of them. In a group setting, we will often, as coaches, have different personality types, so we can't make all players satisfied at the same time. But by knowing our players' tendencies, we can frame every drill and give small personalized messages and tasks within the drills so that the individual player will make the most out of that drill. Looking at introverts versus extroverts, the spectrum of energy. Introverts prefer one-to-one settings like private lessons to big group sessions, can work for longer periods on small details, and they need quiet time to recharge. Extroverts enjoy the energy from big group lessons and being the center of attention, quickly get bored with mundane repetition, hence work best in short focus drills. And lastly, often like to make things happen in matches rather than retrieving. Sensates versus intuitives, the balance of fact and instinct. Sensates gather as many facts as possible before deciding. Can seem slower due to cognitive processing, not just physical movement. Prefer counterpunching, which allows more time to decide. Intuitives trust their gut instinct, act first, analyze later, are creative with shot selection, and prefer to dictate play. They learn quicker through demonstration rather than verbal explanation. Thinkers versus feelers, the head and the heart. Thinkers are more aware of coaching inconsistencies, prefer technical and tactical training over mental training, and they enjoy practicing strokes all day long. Feelers put others' needs before their own, have a strong need for optimism and harmony on the court, struggle with cheating and gamesmanship. And at last, judges versus perceivers, the planner and the adapter. Judges are organized with a tendency to perfectionism, prefer well-planned, structured lessons, hence don't wing it, they'll notice, postpone competition until they feel 100% ready. Perceivers are more flexible in their approach, can get caught up in what they find interesting, might forget to practice an important stroke for a period of time. I know that was an extensive share, yet Frank Giampolo's insights were crucial for me to include. Grasping a player's personality aids in customizing effective communication for every individual you coach. Having explored individual personalities, what about coaching different genders? Coaching across genders. Understanding and respecting differences. Like raising your children, they require the same respect, but different approaches. When coaching individuals of different genders, do you apply the same approaches, or are there significant distinctions to consider? Sarah Stone. For the most part, I encourage coaches to coach boys and girls the same. You don't want to change the way that someone is coached because of gender stereotypes. The biggest issue I want coaches to be aware of is their language. There is a lot of societal pressure on females to look and act a certain way. A lot of body shaming. Coaches should refrain from talking about body image to their players, but particularly when working with female players. Additionally, the menstrual cycle makes training loads, emotions, etc. different from working with males. Coaches need to have adequate knowledge of the female monthly cycle when working with female players. So what is something that is important to keep in mind when working with girls? Joe Ward. Women are different, not limited. The biggest myth is that women can't do certain things. That women can't kick serve, can't volley, can't drop shot, can't hit angles. Women can do all of those shots. Whether women have been in a good environment, where they have been encouraged to be diverse in their practice, well, that's another question. From a physiological and psychological standpoint, there's nothing that suggests that women are limited in terms of what they can do and what they can't do. There are obviously some physical considerations, like women are on average 10 kilos lighter and have 54% less upper body strength compared to males. So there are constraints within the female body, but that doesn't mean that it's limited in terms of executing certain shots. When we get to the practice court, we need to be aware of what drills we do and what constraints we make in those drills. Challenge ourselves as tennis coaches on whether we are making this constraint because of our default view on female tennis, or is this a way where we are adapting the drill to the differences in physical parameters? Why might a coach fall into the trap of coaching females differently? Joe Ward adds, a generic approach to coaching is not gender neutral by default. Given how much more we watch, research, and analyze men's tennis, our default view of tennis is men's tennis, which carries with it men's psychology, physiology, tactics, and technique. We have a big challenge with participation with female players, and if we're coaching them on incorrect foundations, coaches may well be contributing to the dropout. It's my mission to ensure that we coach girls and women in a manner that is correct for them. So it's crucial to be aware of not limiting female players from a technical, tactical, physical, and mental standpoint in terms of how to adapt to the person and communicate. Anything else to be aware of, no matter the gender? Handling with care, navigating sensitive conversations, like walking a tightrope, timing and tact are everything. Here, Sarah Stone shares her experience on approaching potentially sensitive topics like food choices. It's a tricky conversation. Women are often judged first on their looks by magazines and social media, and they judge themselves similarly. Women are often judged first and foremost on their looks by magazines and social media, and they judge themselves similarly. When reviewing video analysis, the first thing they might say is, "Oh my gosh, that's such a bad angle," without even considering their strokes. This makes discussing food choices complex, regardless of how well you know a player and the depth of the relationship. A useful strategy I learned from a sports psychologist involves starting with simple questions about their food preferences. If the answers suggest poor choices, ask them, "How do you think those foods affect your performance?" They will answer and you can say, "Are you open to some other ideas about foods that might help your performance?" If they say yes, then you can go there. If they say no, well, you just must try again another time. It's not the time to say, "Well, you need to lose weight because you can't run." It's really not going to get you anywhere. The key is timing. When the opportunity arises and the player's ready, educate them about performance-enriching nutrition. If they're eating well and training properly, body composition shouldn't be an issue. Chapter Checklist. Your guide to comprehending the person behind the player. 1. Get to know the context. Understand the cultural background and the people surrounding the player. 2. Use personality dimensions. Leveraging these tools can be beneficial to grasp the individual behind the player. 3. Coach the person, not the gender. Treat players as individuals, not defined by gender. Recognize physical differences, but avoid stereotypes. 4. Handle sensitive topics with care. Invite open dialogue on subjects like food choices. Be patient if the player isn't ready to discuss initially. Revisit the conversation later. You're now better positioned to comprehend the person, but comprehension alone isn't enough. You need to connect with the player.
That's it for today's episode. Before we wrap up, I want to remind you about the World Tennis Conference hosted by the Segal Institute and supported by the GPTCA. I'm honored to be speaking for the third time, and I can tell you firsthand, it's an unmissable event for any coach looking to sharpen their skills and learn from some of the best minds in tennis. Make sure to sign up at worldtennisconference.org and use the coupon ADAM to get 10% off your registration, whether you're signing up for the conference or the conference plus the club membership. See you at the World Tennis Conference.
Thanks for listening to Dissecting High Performance in Tennis. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and visit adamblicker.com for more coaching insights and resources. And hey, if you're looking to sharpen your coaching skills even further, grab a copy of Winning Words on Amazon. The ebook costs the same as a candy bar, so why not skip the sugar and invest in becoming a healthier, wiser coach instead? Order your copy today and unlock the distilled wisdom from the brilliant guests featured right here on the podcast. Together, let's minimize frustration and maximize impact.